Hey guys, welcome to Agent After Hours. I am here with Christy Daly talking about headline news. And I read a nice article yesterday from 1000 Watt Consulting that was talking about exclusive office listings. And actually, Kent and I talked about this last week, just not on camera or anything, but we were talking about local offices that are doing that and saying that it's a benefit for their benefit for the client of the agent, saying, hey, we're going to market this exclusively to our agents only for X amount of days before it actually goes live. And in 1000 Watts article, they go on to say, like, hey, our research says that this does not benefit your client. It actually puts them at a disadvantage because you're not reaching the broadest audience possible. So you have a little bit of a different take on it. So we're just weighing pros and cons here and having a friendly discussion.
I mean, I think there are far more cons than pros. But the only time I could see this being a benefit, not necessarily for pricing or anything, but if you have somebody who's uber private, maybe we don't really have them in our area, but like a big star, the basketball coach for the Louisville
There are
Cardinals.
no stars on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, exactly. You have Joe Burrow's listing, and it's just going to be a bunch of looky-loos.
Right.
So in that case, I could see where they'd be like, yeah, let's just make this an office-exclusive listing. But even at that, I think that it's dangerous because if it's office exclusive, it's literally office exclusive, at least here in our MLSs. You can't say, oh, well, my buddy has somebody that once you do that, it's open to everybody. It just doesn't work. So that would be the only time that I could think maybe you could find a way to use it. Very private, a divorce, maybe the people are feeling really uncomfortable about it. They don't want their neighbors to know or whatever.
I think there's certainly circumstances in which it makes sense. But I think a lot of what I'm hearing from other agents in the office is that agents outside in different offices are promoting this on their listing presentation as this is a good thing for every seller. And it's like, that's not necessarily true. I think it does put sellers at a disadvantage because there are, 1,800 agents in the Northern Kentucky MLS. There's 6,000 plus in Cincinnati. There's 4,500 plus, I think, in Dayton. But there's a ton of agents, right? And we all have our own pool of buyers or sellers and sphere of influence and those kind of things. So when you're not reaching those, you may not end up in the multiple offer situation. And we're already seeing that start to decline. But I think it's just important to have those conversations with your seller on what their needs are. So as you said, there's circumstances where they might be a celebrity or have privacy issues or a divorce situation. I actually heard from an agent last week that they said, I have a client that literally only wants me to double dip this deal. It's like the chances of having that perfect buyer for that one specific home are next to nothing. But it's like, hey, if that's what the client wants, that's what you've got to do. So,
do you think that there's any risk of a fair housing violation there?
I think certainly there can be a case made. I mean, we could go off on a tangent on fair housing issues forever, but I think you've just got to be careful. I think certainly tread lightly, and that's what the article kind of alluded to. It was talking about a case in New York where it was office-specific listings, and they related to with their research and the data that says, hey, houses in this price range sold exponentially less, and oh, by the way, it was also that these minorities did not have an opportunity to purchase. So I think certainly the case can be made that it does eliminate opportunities for certain pools of buyers.
I feel like as agents, we have the data, we look at the data, we comp your house, and we come up with an idea of what we think the price is, but without the market dictates the price.
Sure.
If you could put up any house for $1 million, and if somebody's willing to pay you $1 million, it's worth $1 million. Short of an appraisal, but
that's what I hate about appraisals, right? Is a house is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, and so you look at some of these houses where the appraiser comes in and says, "Hey, I can't say or justify that value." It's like, well, I can because I had 7 offers that were all over list price, and everybody's willing to pay this, so that dictates what price is.
But without the exposure, the MLS, we always say there's 2 things that sell a house, price and exposure. Without exposure, now you're just making up a price. And we could have a wildly different idea of what a house is worth based upon experience in areas.
My marketing's just better.
Hey, I get 100% of my one deal a year.
No, it's funny. It's funny that you said price and exposure, because we've always used, and Kent used that last week, but we always use 3. It's price, location, and marketing. And I say, when I'm having the conversation with sellers, it's, hey, I can't pick your house up and move it. We've shown you what we've done with professional photos and 3D and drone and, all these different things that we do to market your home. So the exposure is there. So I think we can have left is price.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
what else do
So,
you have that you would
I
like
mean,
to talk about?
As far as the exclusive listing situation, I feel like if your fiduciary responsibility to your seller,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you're putting yourself, you're going to come out on top more than they are. You have the chance of double dipping on it.
Yep.
But I just, short of a little basket of buyers and friends, you're just really just throwing it out into the wind and hoping something sticks.
Yeah, I mean, even we're 4,000 transactions between all the offices. So we have a large pool of buyers. But even with that, I think it still puts your seller at a disadvantage. And I don't think you're fulfilling your fiduciary duty unless it's their wishes for, privacy or whatever the other reasons might be. So stop doing that. That's my 2 cents. No, Christy, thanks for joining. And
Absolutely.
we will see you on the next one. I will give you a heads up like I did today.
It's so much better.
See you guys next time.
We can do this. Oh yeah, 87% of homes sell from another brokerage, not your own. 87%.
That's still recording. Add that in later.